Hello and welcome to Glimmer of Genius. This is a podcast all about Magic the Gathering, bringing you the latest happenings in the MTG community, from news to tournament reports, deck ideas to MTG finance. We are Glimmer of Genius. If you want to learn more about the show, then check us out on Facebook at Glimmer of Genius. Leave us a comment or a question and become part of the conversation. My name's Luke and I make YouTube videos. On the line with me is Level 2 Judge Grant David and MTG trader Simon Wright. How are you guys today?
I'm good.
I'm alright.
Only alright?
I had 6 days off, now I'm back at work today. It was great.
Oh, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this show today, we're going to talk a little bit about Brawl and some drafting, but also a spicy brew as well. But before we get onto all of that, Grant, what have you been up to in the world of Magic this last couple of weeks?
I haven't really been doing too much in terms of like official stuff, like in terms of standard and modern. I'm just not that interested in standard at the moment, and I haven't really bothered sort of playing a bit of modern after the Jason Bloodbraid unbanning. Not that I'm particularly scared of it, because it seems like it's fine, now that they're unbanned, but just haven't really made an effort. But I have been playing a bit of Commander, and also I managed to draft some of, I got that box unstable a couple of months ago.
Ah, yeah.
Finally managed to open some of that and draft some of that. We did some multiplayer stuff, which was quite fun. So I've got like half of it left to do, which I hopefully will do this Saturday. And then I'll have, as many unstable cards as I have to then try and complete my cube. I'm probably about, a third, halfway there. And also been focusing on, that custom Star Wars cube that you may or may not have seen.
You've mentioned it many times.
So there's a fictional set of cards I did online, which was Star Wars based. Very, very well done. I can put a link in the chat, and obviously you can put it online if you want.
Do it.
Link. But yes, it's very well thought out. And obviously you have to print it out and proxy it and stuff, and I've done that. But he's updated it, like with new rule stuff, and as of Rogue One and Episode 8 and stuff, he's updated those. So I'm kind of redoing some of those, but when that's done, I'll have a Conspiracy 1, almost a Conspiracy 2 cube, and then hopefully the Unstable cube soon, and then I've also got the Star Wars cube done as well. So I've been working on mostly Commander, Draft, or Cube recently.
Nice.
That's cool. The Star Wars cube in particular is something I would...
I've said to Jim that he's going to try and find some time at Dice Saloon to try and make it run, and I'll bring it, and it can support up to like 12 people. So that will be on the calendar at some point for those of you that are local.
I organise all the events for the shop.
Yeah, so I presume Jim will be talking to you at some point.
He would have forgotten.
Also, there's a custom cube someone did for Pokemon as well. It's not quite as good. Like, for instance, Pikachu is like a double red 2/2 haste creature, for instance.
Right.
But it did... Did any of you play the original Pokemon card game? Like, obviously it's like 20 years ago kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't get me started.
So basically, the main issue... there's several, but the main issue I've got with the Pokemon card game is the whole point of the game is to evolve Pokemon and make them stronger. But in the card game, you can't play evolved Pokemon by themselves. You have to have basic Pokemon.
Yeah.
So by kind of like doing what the whole series is about, it kind of makes you worse as a deck or as a player. So in the Magic set, obviously, as well as it being superior because it uses Magic the Gathering models, it's also solved this thing where, say, if you've got, like, say, an Ivysaur that evolves from a Bulbasaur, you can play the Ivysaur for 4 mana, or if you've already got a Bulbasaur in play, you basically shuffle the Bulbasaur into your deck and you pay 1 mana kind of thing. So even though this guy is just some random from the internet, he's like solved basically the biggest problem in the Pokemon card game. So I've also got that, which is quite fun.
Yeah, so we've decided we want to get into Pokemon at the shop.
Okay.
And I've been nominated as the person to learn Pokemon, and,
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we'll have to discover. So I was quite dedicated to it. I went, right, I'm going to download the online TCG game and refresh, because I haven't played it since it first came out.
Yeah.
And see what was going on. It's quite fun. I was doing this tutorial, and it's like, I know all these Pokemon. That's quite cool. Complete the tutorial, and then got my first match against a trainer, AI trainer. And they just went, I'm just going to play this basic Pokemon with 120 health and does 8 damage to you if I put 4 power. And I'm like, this isn't really fun. It's all about just building a really big creature to deal with.
There's no real removal in Pokemon either.
No, there's no instant speed. I was enjoying it. It was nice. It was quite, it's not Magic.
It's fun when you're like a kid and no one's got like supreme like play sets of anything, but competitively it just doesn't really work. But for those of you that like Pokemon but don't like the system, then I'll also bring my Pokemon cube and I bring the Star Wars one, so that's fine.
Well, playing it is like playing bloody like Vintage or something. You just play all your trainer cards, and you just get to search your deck for anything you want, play it, go play another trainer card. One that just says, because trainer cards don't cost you any mana, your power cards just go on your Pokemon. So like, you play a trainer card that says draw 3 cards.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay. I don't know what the limitation is on trainer cards.
Free ancestral recall.
So I don't know what the limit is on trainer cards.
Trainer cards.
Is there a limit?
I tried to get Laura into Magic, so I got her into Pokemon trading game. And it all started when we sort of dug out our old Pokemon card collection. I said, "Do you want to play it? There's a joke," and she was like, "Yes." And so it all kind of escalated from there. So for a few weeks, I actually went for a little while. Actually, we went to Gary's shop in Shoreham for the Pokemon nights. My mind was blown by the trainer cards because there's no mana cost. But the thing with trainer cards, you can only play one per turn.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
I was playing multiple.
Oh, sorry, apologies. Supporter cards. So cards like that have a character on there, like Professor Oak or Skylar, Gym Leader, that sort of thing. You only play those once per turn. But some
one
of the cards,
the same, or just one?
No, just one supporter. Only one supporter per turn. But you're absolutely right. I was sitting there like it's like playing some sort of elaborate combo deck for a lot of these decks. So you literally have all these like tutor and discard effects to search up what you need, and then you suit up. It's almost like playing. The best way to describe it is like playing vintage bobbles. And then you
just got hexproof because there's no removal.
Exactly. And you just kind of go to town.
Well, you can't kill Pokemon. That's not very child friendly, bro.
But there was it's different, and there's a very established meta once you start getting competitive. Like Magic, it gets to a point where like if you don't have certain 4-ofs, like every deck, for example, played Demonic Tutor. There's a support card which says search your library for any card, any trainer card, put it into your hand. So like every deck plays 4 of those.
It's like Magic. You can have up to 4 of each.
Yeah. And then there's like Ultra Ball, which is discard 2 cards, search your library for any Pokemon, put it into your hand. So like you can play that, search your library for any Pokemon you want. Play Skylar, search your library for any trainer card you want. So you can find the missing pieces that you need very, very quickly. So the only weird thing, I'd say that my biggest bugbear with Pokemon actually, there's lots of little problems with it, like you said, Grant. It's weird and unusual, and in many ways it's quite broken. But
it's bloody broken. I've only played like 5 games.
The hardest thing for me,
I'm still playing the AI. I haven't been past. It's ridiculous.
The hardest thing for me is you can't mulligan. So like you draw your opening 7, and if you don't have a basic Pokemon in your opening hand, then you mulligan. That's it. So you could have an absolutely garbage hand that doesn't do anything. You'd have to keep it because it might have a basic Pokemon in it. So
and this is actually my issue. There's plenty of, like you said, problems with it that are broken, and there's many games that have broken problems. But the issue I've got is because I quite like Pokemon as a franchise. And as I said, the games are about evolving Pokemon, and the card game is literally the opposite of that, and that's my main issue, just that it hasn't got the ethos of what the whole thing's about.
No. It really, it's a little bit sad, really, but it really doesn't.
Why isn't it about evolving Pokemon? I quite like evolving Pokemon.
Because if you have a deck of, say, say like Charmander as an example, you're going to have 4 Charmanders and some Charmeleons and Charizards. But it's actually better just to have basic Pokemon, because if you draw an opening hand that's just Charmeleons and Charizards, you can't play the game. So if you have
Pokemon, you couldn't start the game if you didn't have a basic Pokemon.
No, that's my point. So you're actually better just having lots of basic Pokemon or EX Pokemon that are the really powerful basic ones, like Legendaries, that don't evolve because they're always reliable. Well, if you top deck, say, an evolved Pokemon, you haven't got the other one, you can't even play that to start with.
Yeah.
But surely that's like curve, like having a curve in Magic.
No, because it's not like it's a very specific curve. Like you have to have these 2 cards to do this one, and like I said,
but it doesn't matter. You can go find whatever you want for 0.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the Magic version this guy's done, it means you can play them regardless, which is, to me, fixes the biggest problem in my opinion.
Yeah. The other thing with Pokemon as well, Simon, is you can just do that. You can say, right, I'm going to have 4 Charmanders, 2 or 3 Charmeleons, and 1 or 2 Charizards, and be thinking, right, that's pretty good. I'm going to draw more Charmanders to evolve into Charmeleons to then play Charizards. But the reality is, someone will be like, I'm going to play this Mewtwo EX.
Yeah.
And then I'll equip a double colourless energy card to it. So I've equipped 2 energy for the price of 1 straight away, and I'll use his basic attack, which will just sweep through your tiny little crappy Charmander's
0 mana soul rings.
I know,
Yeah.
don't.
Yes, if people like Pokemon, but they prefer Magic, there is options.
Yeah. I think much in the same way you have casual formats in Magic. Like if you, it's about like-minded players. You know, if you're playing tournament decks versus, you know, a starter, like the starter decks will. If you look at the because what's really good about the starter decks is they like Magic. They have the deck lists that you can research and find out what's in them. If you look at a tournament or a starter deck in Pokemon, you'll see exactly that curve that we described to you, which is kind of like a step into the game. So you understand these basic principles, and they're really good. But as soon as you start playing competitively, and you start, it's even more of an arms race in Magic than in Magic. I think like the power level. If you go that next level and have an EX, then that's just it's almost no competition really. Because the thing is as well, you can only play 1 energy a turn. Yeah. So if you've spent 1 to 2 turns suiting up a Charmander or into a Charmeleon and thinking really good, this is great, and they've gone right, EX 1 energy, kill your guy, you've lost effect. It's like having your best creature killed and being stone rained twice.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
That's the problem. So then you're like, oh my god, okay, I'll put this little Charmander out, my second backup Charmander, and they're still sitting there with their EX fully suited up.
That's what I found. It's like they get a giant Pokemon out, and you're just like, well, that's my whole board dead.
Yes.
Because like even in Magic, if you get board wipes, you've still got the momentum of the mana you've got available to try and rebuild. But in Pokemon, as you said, if you like, okay, I'll play this backup Charmander, it's going to take you like 3 turns to get back to the other one. Of course, there's no coming back from that, particularly because there's no removal either.
No.
So it's just you put in a stream and try.
And it will be competitive play. It's competitive. Approach us and being like, we need somewhere to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere big enough.
Because every card game has a limiting factor. Obviously, Magic is 1 land per turn. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's 1 monster per turn. And Pokemon's got obviously 1 energy per turn. I think that's just like the worst system ever, as well as like I say, it just goes against what Pokemon's about.
Once you mastered retreat costs, you want some Pokemon in there that cost nothing to retreat as well. So you can.
Oh, Rattata.
So Trio, I remember being a big thing. That's obviously 20 years ago. And I sold all my original Pokemon cards as well. For lots of money, which was quite nice.
He doesn't do anything, but you can just retreat. As long as he's got one mana attached to him, 1 energy, you can retreat for free, draw a card. Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. So that's what you want, is a little retreat monkey like that. That when something of yours gets fainted, you can then put that guy out. So then you're not exposed. Yeah. So you could just then switch him for something that you've been preparing in the background, rather than your good stuff. But retreating is pretty a key strategy in the game as well. Like retreating at the right time, because it heals your status conditions as well.
Bloody Pokemon.
So other than the additional responsibilities of Pokemon, what else have you been up to, roped into doing?
Well, I've managed to get a couple of drafts of Masters 25 in, which I really like. Really like. I'm gutted. I think I've only managed to do 2.
Is that what you're doing this Friday, Simon?
No, this Friday we're back to normal. We've done 3 weeks worth on the trot, and they were really popular. We got like 12 and 18 players for each one or something. But yeah, we thought we'll stop it for now because we didn't want to overdo it. Huh. But I know people are like laying into the set a lot. I don't know if they've actually sat down and drafted it. It's really good. It's great fun to draft. There's no like set paths or anything. There are some, but you can mix it up. There's loads of stuff to do, and I really enjoy it.
Felt quite deep to me. I've only done 1 draft, but I would agree with that.
Beware the crab. There's just loads of good combos going on. It was great. I really loved it. I want to do more.
I don't know what people expect from these sets. It's basically a draft set that will also inject a few expensive cards into the population.
People just expect it to be full of modern staples and worth a lot of money. If that's not what it is, they're not interested.
Yeah.
So are you trying to tell me that people want something for nothing? Is that
everyone wants something? No, people want something for money. But yeah, they expect what they get is worth more than what they pay. They seem to totally ignore the draft, the actual experience of what it is in the box. I mean, to be fair, it's quite expensive what it is in the box. Let's not kid ourselves, but that's because of the price of some of the cards.
Yeah.
No, it's a shame, but it's not a modern master set. It's a 25th anniversary special set.
Yeah.
People are like, oh no, yeah, it's got to have. Where's the fetch lands? Where's all my modern state? And it's got some modern staples in. It's got fucking Blood Mooning again. Yeah, that's not what the set is. It's supposed to be something fun to draft, and people seem to miss that. They seem to think it's something they need to be able to buy and make money off of. That's what ruins it.
Yeah, I hate those people that make money off of selling cards.
Yeah, bastards. But what makes it worse is it makes it bad for the stores. That it's supposed to be a thank you to the stores as well for supporting Wizards. Here's a good product that you can sell for above RRP.
Yeah.
And people will be happy to buy it. But shops get burnt on it when stuff like this happens. But it's a good set. I think I think the problem is a lot of the mythics and rares are actually aimed at Commander players who probably won't buy a box.
No, they'll just buy from vendors. But then it's weird, isn't it? Because then it's almost like a secondary consumer getting the benefit. But then I suppose it should, like you say, it should be. It's a little present to the.
But you got a thing like when they announced Huntmaster of the Fells, and not Huntmaster of the Fells. What's it called? Master of the Hunt. And people are going, what's that doing at Mythic? Or what's a jank card? Why is that in there? It's like before the reprint, it was a £15-18 card.
What is it?
Yeah.
Master of the Hunt. It makes wolves. Yeah. Just because of Commander and the filter lands, great. They'll push them 15-20 quid each. They're good lands. Okay, they're not played in Modern, but Commander players want them.
What's a filter land?
You tap one blue or one green. One of them is Flooded Grove. Tap one blue, one green. It makes 2 blue or 2 green or both.
Wait, what? The Lorwyn Morningtides? No, they're
yeah, they're in there. Do you not know they're in the set?
No,
because everyone thinks they're shit. Oh, it's not played in Modern.
What they're talking about? They're really expensive lands.
Yeah, they are exactly.
They're not anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, they were. So that's the thing. It's like if you reprint stuff, it's going to go down in value. That's the whole point of it. It makes it cheap, makes the cards cheaper.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't. They're supposed to be there. These sets are there to be enjoyed, have fun with, enjoy the experience. But yeah, people just play cards that you don't really get to play with anymore.
Yeah.
I will tell you what was good about it. We had loads of old players come back just to play with cards that they used to play with before they stopped playing Magic.
That's cool.
Which is quite fun. And then after that, it's all about the Brawl.
Brawl. We'll get on to Brawl in a minute. Because you mentioned about drafting there, and I wanted to just quickly say what I've been up to. What I was doing.
You haven't been doing anything.
I have been doing anything. I did a draft. I did a whole one draft.
One draft.
And it led me to a question about drafting that I think was vaguely interesting, at least vaguely interesting. But then we'll talk about Brawl. So I also did a Modern Masters 25. Don't even know what the set's called. What's the set called?
Masters 25.
Masters 25. I also did a Masters 25 draft, and I had no knowledge of what was in the set beyond what Lewis was telling me was in the set on the day. And he kept listing combos to me, and I was just going way over my head. But I just drafted blue-white good stuff after clone, which you can morph and make more clones.
Oh, I've done that, yeah.
And I went 2-1, and it was really good. Really good little deck. I lost to, this is green-black, just like value, like made saprolings, made a guy, when you kill a thing, gave him saprolings, then you had a guy which you could, whenever one of his own creatures died, you could return a creature to his hand. He could return a creature to his hand, and then he had ways of recurring that as well. And then other creatures would enter the battlefield effects that they'd return stuff, so nothing stayed dead. It was horrible. And I got an Imperial Recruiter, which is quite nice.
Nice.
So it's pretty successful evening. But one interesting thing that happened in the draft was pack 1, pick 1. I had the choice between Ball Lightning as the rare and the 3/3 colourless guy that when it dies, you what?
Cathodian? You get 3 mana.
No, you cascade.
Oh.
Treasure Keeper.
It's called Conspiracy. Yeah. Treasure Keeper.
Treasure Keeper, yeah.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, so I first picked that because it was colourless and card advantage.
Or Kaladesh. Yeah, it's in standard, yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the pack was fairly weak, and I first picked it thinking it's colourless, goes in any deck, and it's a good card.
Yeah.
Or Ball Lightning. To my left was Ben. Now, for anyone who doesn't know who Ben is, he is...
Who's this Ben?
Sounds good.
Yeah, some guy, but he loves playing mono red. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm gonna pass Ben this Ball Lightning, and he is gonna just snap pick it, like whatever he's
balls deep.
he whatever he's first picked is just gonna be like ignored, and he'll be picking this unless he's first picked Lightning. Yeah. And that actually influenced my decision as well, because I was thinking I could take the Ball Lightning because this is a fun thing to take.
Just screw you, Ben.
Yeah, and also it'd be funny to tell Ben afterwards. But in the end, Ben made this horrendous, like, powerful red deck, which I think he did something stupid. Like he had the card which gives +1/+1 and double strike. So he was able to cast Ball Lightning and then give it double strike on one time. He killed people with that pretty handily. But anyway, this led me to my little thinking about drafting, and I wondered what your thoughts and opinions on this was. Obviously, the draft was a bit of fun. It was FNM, nothing too serious. But when you're drafting, how much do the people sitting around you, and I don't mean people that are sitting there going, oh, I've first picked this really powerful mythic, so then you know what they're in, those idiots.
Yeah, no, I ban those people.
Yeah, not silly things, but like when you're actually in a fairly serious / competitive environment, how much do you actually pay attention to the other people in the draft? Because I was thinking, I actually might have just taken the Ball Lightning. And I know it's a bad example because Ball Lightning isn't the best Magic card, but I mean, let's assume it was a fairly passable pick. How much do you actually think, okay, I'm going to feed this person to my left here who likes this given strategy?
My answer is 0. The correct answer is a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to do my thing more than I want to screw every person to make it more competitive for myself.
Yeah, I mean, on the Pro Tour, you've got quite a limited... the players that are on there regularly know each other quite a lot. They know what colours certain players favour. Like, if you're sitting next to Craig Wesco, you're not going to start picking white, are you?
No.
It's not going to bother. You're just going to be like, yeah, fine. You can have it. But, it puts you both at an advantage until you sit down and realise he's drafted black-green.
Because that...
Wesco!
Well, that was the thing I was thinking about. And I remember watching a little video of... Oh, what's his name? Travis Wu. Quite a controversial...
Are we going to talk about him?
I don't know.
No.
I'll edit that bit out, and what I'll say instead is, I remember watching a video of some
Travis
guy
Wu.
on Travis Wu.
Is he controversial because he once went to a tournament and won with a 90-card deck?
Is he? Did he?
He made a 90-card living end deck because it doesn't matter how big a Cascade deck is as long as the ratios are sound.
Cool.
I think he's more controversial because apparently he's a horrible sexist.
Oh, okay.
That's hearsay. I didn't really look into what that was about.
I kind of forgive him because he's running 90-card decks. So to me, it all is forgiven.
The reality
Perhaps going to be in the podcast now.
Yeah, I'm not going to edit this out. Basically, he's controversial because of all of these things. Long story short, he is a self-proclaimed... What's the word? Is it shitlord? Is that a thing? Is that a...
Shitlord? Who self-proclaims himself as a shitlord?
No, what is it?
You're not listening.
No, basically he's a troll, basically. He loves to troll.
Yeah, that's what shitlord kind of means, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that's an actual term. I thought I'd made up a word. But no, he likes to troll, and he will say things, he doesn't care. But he's also a really interesting kind of life coach. He's kind of doing a little bit of that, not life coach, like coaching Magic players, but he's also got a little YouTube channel where he kind of does like motivational kind of little 2-minute videos, stuff like that. One of the videos he put up was in the middle of Amonkhet Standard, or sorry, when Amonkhet was the most latest set being draft. He was saying to people, I will always force mono red. I don't care who you are, what seat I'll be sitting at, whether it's online, at the Pro Tour, like always force mono red. Don't pay any attention to what anyone else is doing. Just force that because it will be the thing to do. That's like a winning strategy. Now, I know obviously take that with a massive grain of salt, and the video itself might have even been a massive troll, to be fair, but that's an interesting strategy to completely ignore what everyone else is doing. I'm gonna do this same thing all the time and not really actually pay attention to any of the people around me, which is kind of what I tend to do. Like, I'll have a look at what's coming round, but I won't be too focused on what I'm passing until I'm kind of finding where I'm sitting in the draft, perhaps.
Like, the only time that what people might be drafting comes into my mind, or my thought choice process, is when I go, I don't want any of these cards in particular. Which one do I want the least? That's the only time it comes into my mind. It's like a secondary parameter, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, I thought the original question was, how do you take in the players' needs? You take in their known preferences.
Well, yeah, that was the original.
Ben.
That was the original thing. Okay. But then it was kind of like, it's like two opposite ends of the spectrum, isn't it? You can draft depending on who you've got in your seat next to you, or you can just be like, I don't really care. I just wondered where you sat on that, or if you thought it was something that you kind of changed from draft to draft, or do you just...
I pay attention to what I pass, what signals I may be given, but then I also pay attention to what signals are being passed to me, and that's how I decide what to draft. Okay. If I sit next to Ben and I know he loves mono red, that wouldn't influence me to pass red cards to him.
No.
But that might be correct, though, because then I know what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I suppose it comes down to what you're passing as well. So, like, you wouldn't pass a Glory Bringer to Ben.
No.
Because it's a Glory Bringer. Like,
and he deserves no glory.
It just got me to thinking, like, in the drafts. Because there was a weird thing that happened in the draft as well. Like, in Pack 2, I got passed a Mana War. And I was like, and I had to take a... Oh, no, that was it. I opened the clone in the second pack. And there was a Mana War in the pack. And I was annoyed because I was like, I really want this Mana War. But I'm obviously going to take the clone. And so I was like, right, fine. And then the Mana War wheeled. And I was like, what the hell?
I like that a jellyfish upset all of your plans.
Yeah, jellyfish.
But then,
I like how you forgot that the clone could also be a Mana War.
Exactly.
Any jellyfish.
But yeah, there was it was really hard to kind of find signals in that draft. Everything seemed open. Yeah, that was my little draft question. But Simon, you were itching to talk about Brawl.
Yeah.
What's all
Brawl? Brawl.
Tell us what it is first, because I'm not 100% certain. I know it's EDH, but not EDH. But
well, EDH isn't a thing. Okay. It's called Commander. In case you missed it.
All right.
EDH was a thing, run by the players for the players, until Wizards took it over and called it Commander.
Yeah.
But enough of that. Okay, Brawl. So it is basically standard Commander. 60 card singleton. You have a commander. They can either be a planeswalker or any legendary creature, and it uses the standard ban list. Now, some people are quite upset about this and throwing a right fit about it, saying it's a caching by Wizards.
Just don't spend money on it then.
Yeah. To me, I don't really see it as a caching by Wizards. It's basically cards people
play it.
Huh?
No one's forced. If it was.
Well, yeah, no one's forced. To be fair, let me just get my point across. Let's just disclaimer straight away. For me, as a trader, Brawl is good for me.
Yeah,
I've got to admit that now. People have taken it on at our shop quite big already, and people are buying more standard cards from me than they usually do. You know, standard format's a bit old now. Wait for someone to come out. They've got their decks. They're not really interested in anything else. Brawl comes along. I need this now, or I'm missing this. It's not very much. There's like cheap 50p £1 cards here and there, like rares, or 25p uncommon they need.
Yeah,
it's just cards that they need to fill out this Brawl deck. So for me, it is good for me. I'll just get that out there now. But as a player, because I'm also a trader, it means I can't really build standard decks. I can't justify keeping 4 Charge Torch Defiances or 4 Hazarets or whatever off of the system and in my deck pool when people want those cards, especially when the sets first come out. One of a card I can probably justify. It's not a big thing. One mythic here and there, it's not going to be a big deal, especially when they're not too sought after. So for me, it's a very good format, and I've got on it straight away. But there's a lot of people saying it's a caching. How dare Wizards create a rotating commander format? It's not a caching. People already have these cards sitting in their folder, not doing anything. It's excess they've had from opening boxes, playing pre-releases, playing drafts. It's had the effect of people actually going, oh, actually, I might draft a bit more because I've got things to do with the cards afterward.
Yeah. it's not like there's going to be tournaments for this. It's not like people will be required to play it for any purpose. So
well, I'd like tournaments for it because I think it's awesome.
But like, I mean, like, it's not going to be like at a GP as a big. It's not going to be like the main event, is it? If they re-release, say, like Extended, I could see how they would say, oh, maybe that's trying to get people to spend more money on cards that are rotated out. But it's something that's casual. It doesn't matter.
True, but I think if they did make it a format, it's not saying they would, but I don't think it's really competitive enough to be a format. It's not a big thing. Your deck, like, you might want to pick up a few mythics and a few rare. I think it might cost you £100, maybe maximum. That's even if you really want to. But because it's a single format, you don't need all the best cards, really, and you use cards that aren't expensive. They're not in standard decks. You know, one-offs. You might want to play one Charger, one Hazoret if you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of naysayers going, this is a cash-in. But what is a cash-in is Wizards taking EDH and then remodeling and nicking it and saying this is Commander and we're going to release Commander products every year. That's a fucking cash-in.
Yeah.
This. And Commander players go, oh, I'm not going to play Brawl. This is just watered down Commander. Wizards cashing in. Whoa. No, you've already been cashed. You've already been milked, my friend.
Yeah. Also,
I love it. I was worried that there wasn't enough diversity and it'd be everyone just loads of dinosaur decks.
I was worried about that.
I have not played a single game. I've played several 3-player games, 4-player games, even a 6-player game. There was not one game where everyone had the same commander.
Nice, that's good.
I've got the big dinosaur
Gishath.
Yeah, Gishath. So in a 6-player game, we had Gishath. We had Nicobolos, who seems popular.
Yeah.
We had Nahib.
What?
Oh, the Minotaur guy.
The Minotaur. We had Tali, the red dinosaur. We had someone playing Tesseract Master of Schemes, the blue back one.
I was thinking about doing that myself, actually, because I quite like to do that.
Yeah, and someone was playing the Palm. What's it? The Red White Dwarf.
Yeah,
the Parlour, and it was great. 6-player. It was awesome. I never played a 6-player Commander game that's that fun.
Nice.
But this was really good.
To be fair, the thing that I wasn't too sold on, I think the thing that appeals to me is Commander can sometimes go on for way too long, and I imagine these games are a bit faster. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah, they've got that middle ground because Commander can either be 4-player Commander can either be very quick or very fast. Very quick or very slow. There doesn't seem to be a middle ground.
No.
Yeah. Brawl seems to be. It can be quick, but it seems to be more in the average ground. Someone turns 6 with Reveling Riches. Basically, Reveling Riches and Torment of Hellfire should be banned. Basically, I don't play black. I can't play black with my general, so they should be banned cards in the format. But no, it's great fun. There's loads of people moaning about it, and I don't think they've actually played.
No, I wasn't told on it, but I want to give it a go now because it seems to have really taken off.
Yeah, there's some people that are semi-positive, like Commander players that are semi-positive. They go, oh, this is a good way to get other players into Commander. So let them play their Brawl decks in your Commander. It's like, no, just build a Brawl deck. You've probably got some cards lying around. One of our guys in our Facebook group was messaging going, oh, I want to build a Brawl deck. I'm not quite sure how about it. And I was like, pick a Commander, grab some cardboard in that colours, and shuffle. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
It's great fun. There's some more competitive players that are already putting more thought into it, and that's fine because it's multiplayer. If you're going to put that much effort into it, I'm just going to get everyone to gang up on you.
Oh, is it not 1-on-1?
But yeah, there's no way of anyone going, oh, I'm going to turn 2 combo to win. And there's people saying, oh, it's rotating. But you're getting to play cards. It's sitting in your collection. Powerful fucking cards you just don't get to play with because no one wants to sit down there and play non-standard Magic. So it's really good. It's what someone said. It's what they wish standard was when they first started playing. When you first start playing, you can't forward 4 some good stuff.
Yeah,
that's a really good way of looking at it, actually.
Yeah, that's what I thought today as well.
Someone said to me, someone posted it, it's just worse Commander, and I just replied, going, it's better standard.
Yeah. Because like Simon said, like it is quite soul crushing when you play. Because when I got into it like 4 years ago, when you get into standard for the first time after playing really casual stuff or Commander, whatever you've been playing. And just having these like solidly reliable decks, going, this Fatal Push will be next, or this Glory Bringer will be next. You know what the curve's going to be just because people go out for of stuff. And I think increasing that variance to quite a high level, even if they've got quite a competitive deck, I think that like Simon said, makes it like better standard in a way. Mm-hmm. Even if not necessarily if you're new, just if you hate the kind of how consistent like the top standard decks are.
Mm-hmm. So I set myself a big target because I hate building decks. This was quite fun. I was hungover one day where oh, I'm going to play this commander, put loads of dinosaurs in, it'll be fine. I was going, right, I'm going to go from Ixalan onwards, because, of course, rotation's in September, October. I don't want to put cards in, I have to take them off the system, put them in the deck, take them, then later on put back on the system, blah, blah. I'll just leave that for now and just focus. But then after playing a few games, I really like, I could really do a heroic intervention in my deck. I'm eyeing it up like in the folders. Like, it's only like a 50p card, and they go, oh yeah, I think I have to break the rule already and slip it in there. I never think about that standard because I don't get to play. I just have to build a shit deck that no one else wants to play because they're the cards I've got to hand that aren't on demand. So yeah, loving Brawl. It's been great.
No, it sounds good. Also, from what you're saying about people going about the whole money grab thing, a bit of a reality check as well. Everything Wizards does is about making money. I think people forget that it's a business, a publicly owned business. Like,
so this will have the automatic effect of people maybe drafting more, but for the main effect, it's more like it's a format for people to use the cards they already have.
Yep.
But you can see they've been building up for it. You look into it now, and you look at Ixalan and stuff, and they've got like good tribal themed decks, and each one has a card that will search for a vampire or a dinosaur. So you've got some tutors already in there built in, and then you look at Dominaria, and it's got loads of new legendary creatures, even uncommon, to get excited about and put into their deck. So it's not something they've just go, here's a fun format, there you go. It's actually, we've been developing this behind the scenes for a little bit by the looks of it.
That's so true. I always thought the tutors were quite odd. They reminded me of Lorwyn, and I thought, they're quite cool. But now you say that, it makes perfect sense.
And it's going really well. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely great. Of course, probably by September, October time, they're going to go, because currently they're doing challenger decks, but of course by September, October time, they're going to go, here's a Brawl deck.
Yeah, probably.
Here's a pre-made Brawl deck for you. It'd be stupid if they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're there to make magic. But yeah, it's to say it's a cash-in.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Pretty dumb.
It is what it is. I'm loving it though. And that's not just me saying that because it's making my sales slightly better. And I think it'll have it'll keep standard cards have a bit more value as well. You know, when you open a booster, I think a booster box of standard will have a bit more value to it. There will, instead of all your rare, like having all your jank rares.
Yeah, they aren't quite good enough for Commander. Yeah,
Brawl playable. These are cards that people want to play in their Brawl deck. They might want to trade for them. But yeah, but it's also a fun format. Play it. If you've got any doubts, go play it. All these people going like, shit.
One of the most Magic players don't like it. You're trying to say that it's just fun and that's it. If people don't like that,
yeah.
Stop being happy. You've got to get angry about the competitive stuff.
The first person that commented was there going, here's this Brawl format. When's the first one-on-one tournament? I'm like, I think you missed the point. And he went, yeah, but I hate multiplayer. I went, I see your point there. So, yeah.
Don't get me started on one-on-one Commander. That's such a paradoxical phrase.
I think one-on-one Brawl will be fine. It'll be like watered down standard.
Yeah, it'd be better than one-on-one Commander just because you're basically just playing more random vintage.
Yeah, one-on-one Commander is a contradiction. Oxymoron, yeah. Is Brawl one-on-one? Brawl one-on-one sounds like it could be appealing, or
it's like slower standard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be multiplayer. It's supposed to be a multiplayer format. But yeah, I don't see why you can play it one-on-one. I think I haven't had a one-on-one game yet. I was about to, and we broke up for a multiplayer game instead because it's more fun. But yeah, we're going to do a one-on-one tournament in May. I'll put it in the schedule. I've dropped something else to put that in. It's because people are really interested. It's just going to be like 5 rounds of Swiss, pack per win. You know, nothing too serious. Come along, have some fun.
Decent. I might dig out. That's it. I can raid my trade binder. I can all this stuff that no one wants in my trade binder.
Well, exactly. The amount of chaff people carry around.
Yeah, I can make a decade out of it. That's good stuff.
And I'll tell you what, Ixalan stuff's really good. You know, with all the stuff that flips into like the cool lands, the enchantments that flips into like Maze of If and stuff. Awesome for a bit of commander action.
Oh my god, yeah.
Rule action, sorry.
You can have all of those lands.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you can't. There's no 5-colour commander.
You can have most of those lands.
Is there no 5-colour commander?
No.
I know you got Bolas. There's 3, isn't he? Is there a 4th? Is there a 4-colour?
There's a few 3 colours, but not every shard. So it's made it a bit interesting. I'm sure there will be once the Dominaria comes out.
Yeah, there's a junk-coloured dragon in Dominaria. So sweet card. What's the dragon? Have I made that up?
I haven't seen it.
7 mana flying trample haste. If it would die instead of exile, it's 3 egg counters, and then you take off a counter each turn.
Yeah, and then he can come back.
Cool.
So he seems
Yeah.
like a...
3 egg counters.
Yeah, and then when he hatches, he comes back to life again.
Oh.
evil phoenix. Yeah, they've definitely got some awesome colour combinations here for Brawl in mind.
I'm super excited about Slimefoot the Stowaway, just anything with Soprolings, and even like him as a card is amazing.
Is that the red black one?
No.
The green black one.
Green black one, yeah. And it's uncommon as well as a legendary, and it's just such an easy one to have as a Brawl deck, and just Soprolings are amazing and just super. It's going to be super affordable for everyone.
I think when I first saw Uncommon Legends, I was like, what? But now, with the whole Brawl ethos and like the first standard, it's almost bringing a little bit of a tear to my eye, because it's like you can think about all the youngsters that probably can't afford to keep up with and buy all these things. They're going to be able to open a card like that and be like, oh, that's really cool. They can actually build a Brawl deck around Slimefoot Stowaway or whoever, and that'll be great fun.
When currently the option is, I've opened this legendary creature, I can't play it in any form. It's not playable in standard, and it's not good in commander. I'm just going to chuck it in the bin. Or it's an awesome standard card. I can't afford the 3 more I need to build a playset.
Yep. It annoys me now because one of the cards that I wouldn't mind building a deck around is Firesong and Sunspeaker, the legendary Minotaur.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that? How do we feel about promos only being in buy box promos?
It's only going to be playable in Brawl and Commander, so because they're not, like you said, about money at all, I don't think it matters.
Might have to buy a box now.
Part of the problem, mate.
Or Simon could give me a Firesong and Sunspeaker for free.
I don't get buy box promos.
You could steal a buy box
even though
promo.
I buy lots of boxes.
Sell a box promo.
They're like, we need them for the customers. It's like, I'm a customer. I get gypped.
Speaking of awesome creatures, I've just seen this other one, Muldrotha the Gravetide, in Sultai colours.
That's good, yeah.
Super Commander and Brawl card.
That's insane. During each of your turns...
Do you have to pay the cost, just a reminder?
Okay, right. So what is it? So during each of your turns, you may play up to 1 permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard.
It does not say about paying its mana cost, because that would be insane.
Boo. But Sultai is my favourite shard.
That's pretty sweet. So assuming you've got infinite mana, you can play whatever you want as long as it's a different type.
Yeah. I mean, if you're assuming you've got infinite mana, you probably just won the game. Right?
Yeah, probably. What I mean is, assuming mana isn't a constraint, you can play as long as you've got the mana to pay for each.
You can play Pokemon.
You can play.
Also, it's important to play because you can reuse stuff like Evolving Worlds and things, which is quite cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Because it's not cards, so you can use that. It's quite nice.
Muldrotha seems pretty good. Awesome. Right. So I'm going to get caught on spoilers if I keep looking at them. So I'm going to close that down. So that's Brawl. Brawl is good. Grant, you had a spicy brew for us.
Yeah, so I can't remember how I came across this. I think it was, remember when Madcap Experiment came out? So for those that don't know, it's a 4 mana thing from Kaladesh or Ether Revolt, whichever one it is. You reveal cards off the top of your library until you hit an artifact, and you take damage equal to the number of cards you reveal, so potentially fatal. But when it came out, someone found a modern combo, which is very fragile because it loses to Path to Exile. But if they're not playing Path, it's actually quite good. Which is you Madcap reversal into a Platinum Imperium, which I think is a 7 mana, I think.
Yep.
It's like 7 mana for a 7/7, and your life total can't change. So you Madcap Experiment, as long as he's the only artifact in your deck, you automatically hit him, you get him for free, and the opponent can't respond to that because part of the resolution is put into the battlefield. So even if they path it in response, the spell's already resolved, so you won't take any damage. But that was quite nice. And then I was like, okay, this card's fun, and in one you can do that. Is there any other combos you can do? And someone came up with a combo that, again, revolves around the deck only having 1 artifact in it. And the artifact is Aetherflux Reservoir, which, again, is from Kaladesh. Which, there was a brief moment where there was a deck in Standard where you played loads of stuff, you bounced it, and you gained loads of life because it's that card where you gain 1 life for your first spell, 2 for your second spell, etc. You used to bounce stuff and then kill them because the second ability is pay 50 life, do 50 damage to something. Or a creature, if you're just feeling very vindictive. But the way this wins is basically you have cards like Hallow, which is from Darksteel, which is 1 white. Prevent all damage target spell will deal when you gain life equal to the damage that you would have taken instead. Typically used obviously against burn, but in this case it's against ourselves. And then Intervention Pact, which is the same thing, but obviously for free because it's a pact card. Just pay 3 or you lose the game next time. So what you do is you Madcap Experiment into a Flux Reservoir, probably take average about 20 or 30 damage. You then gain 20 or 30 life, and then kill the opponent because you've got 20 plus life equals 50.
That would kill you as well.
Sort of, but again, you've got to imagine you're not on exactly 50.
Okay.
So,
51.
Also, another way to do it is if you already have a Flux Reservoir in play, to say it got to turn 4, you've drawn like 4 cards or whatever, so you've got like 50 cards left. You just play Madcap Experiment. You can turn your entire library over. Say to the opponent, you can look through it if you want to. Then just go, I'll gain this many this many life because you'll play Hallow or Intervention Pact, and then just kill them. So I kind of like the idea in Modern of just turning over your library and just going, you're dead.
Yes.
So yeah.
So you have to play Hallow first, and then
or Intervention. Well, you play Madcap Experiment because you have to have a target, and then before it resolves, you then target it with either Hallow or Intervention Pact.
Oh, so it's if a source would deal damage to you, so you have to have the source on the stack, right? Okay.
Then that resolves. Ideally, on average, obviously, you're probably going to reveal about 20, 25 cards until you hit Flux Reservoir, but the ideal thing is you already have it in your hand or in play, so you're guaranteed to not hit it, so therefore you just go, I've got 50 cards left, flip over library, shuffle those cards again, gain 50 life, and then next turn kill you kind of thing. Fair
enough. And I suppose if you flip it as the top card, you just try and find another Madcap Experiment.
Yeah, it's also full of Desperate Rituals, Manamorphosis, Pyretic Rituals. Just think of like any kind of crazy combo deck in Modern that's got that kind of stuff. It's also got Bring to Light, so you can look for your library to cast it, so you've got 7 or 8 copies of Madcap Experiment effectively.
Yes.
And it also runs Talaria West, so you can transmute into Intervention Pacts to make sure you've got a thing that stops you from dying.
Talaria West is one of my favourite Magic cards.
So yeah, you transmute into, well, as always, a pact card and do that. Also, the version I've built, I've given you the original version, but the one I've built also has another transmute card, which you can transmute to try and find Flux Reservoir, because I was finding myself either flipping over not as many cards and therefore just losing, or just not finding it. Because it runs Simian Spirit Guides, you can potentially win turn 1.
Yes.
So you just go turn 1, or like a Spirit Guide or 2, then an amount of rituals, just so you have 5 mana or 4 mana if you've got a pact. You just go Madcap Experiment, flip over cards, Intervention Pact, gain life. Flux Reservoir is obviously in play because of Madcap Experiment, kill them. So yeah, it's just very silly for Modern. I think I might build it because it's got, apart from Talaria West, hasn't really got anything expensive in it. So
I like the fact that there's a turn 1 kill. I mean, yeah. If they're not going to reprint Force of Will in Standard, then frankly, people deserve to die on turn 1 in Modern.
It also runs Pact of Negation as well. Or it can do, I put it in the sideboard. So if you know your opponent's running counter spells, obviously would undo this deck. You just go like cast a spell, Pact, and you might even, because the thing is it doesn't run white mana in the deck at all. So the opponent's go like, oh, I'll counter it, and then you can just lose, and then you just go like, I'll do Pact of Negation, so I might lose the game twice. Let's hope this goes off now.
I'm pleased it runs Pact of Negation, because I was going to say, how does it stop counter magic?
You can also run Besage You if you want to, that tree that stops you from being countered, but that only prevents one of the things from being counted, so yeah.
What? Sorry, what was that?
Besage You from Kamigawa. It's a land that comes into play tapped. You pay 2 life, you get a colourless mana. If you spend it on instant or sorcery, it can't be countered by anything.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing that you see sometimes in combo decks. It's a very bad land, but it stops opponents from messing with your combos. Yeah, it was in the one of the first From the Vault things.
Yeah, one that had escaped my attention. I like the idea of it though, and any deck which plays Simian Spirit Guides is all right in my book.
Again, you can look at the original list because it's down what it's a copy of at the bottom right. But I tried to tinker with this myself, and the land base was a bit too slow. And we were talking about them earlier. Filter lands are actually really good in this situation because what you can do, because stuff like Talaria West, which uses double blue, is quite awkward, particularly in Modern. What you can do is Simian Spirit Guide and then use the red mana for the Cascade Bluffs and turn that into double blue. So in this case, the filter lands coming into play untapped and also being able to change 2 colours is super valuable.
Filter lands are great. I mean, if you can actually make them work, they are so good.
Yeah.
So sad.
I mean, the land base is like, again, this is my doing, not what the original guy did, but he also runs like Forbidden Orchard, the one that taps for any colour mana, but the opponent gets a 1/1 spirit, because
Perfect.
you don't really care what the opponent's got. You're going to win by turn 3, turn 4 anyway, so whatever. But yeah, this, in my opinion, this is the best land base for it, but people will look at it and go, what the hell is this?
Pretty sick.
Oh, it also runs 4 Welding Jar on the sideboard. The 0 cost regenerate an artifact card. Just as, like, if they run artifact removal, you just sideboarded Welding Jars.
That's funny.
Which I think is just great. They're like, I've got Ancient Grudge. Yeah, well, I've got like 3 Welding Jars in play, so do your work.
That would be a bit of a sad moment, though, when you Madcap Experiment into it.
Yeah, that's the only problem. I'm not sure if this guy's thought it through properly or not.
Just run more counter magic.
Yeah, that's also fine.
Spell Pierce, mess them up. Or Swan Song.
Oh, Swan Song is an excellent shout. I'm going to put that in right now.
Swan Song's
Swan
great.
Song Bomb.
If you're ignoring your opponent, then Swan Song is perfect.
You lose the game, but you have a Swan.
So that is all for now from us. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, give us some feedback on our Facebook page. Follow the group and keep up to date with whenever we are sending out podcasts. We can also be found on the MTG Cast network. That is mtgcast.com, as well as our own podcast website, which is glimmerofgenius.podbean.com. Also, if you're interested in even more Magic the Gathering content, then please check out my YouTube channel, Vincent Games, which you can find in the description below, or search up Vincent Games on YouTube. Once again, thanks very much for listening, and
See you soon.
for more.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
So Simon, normal draft tomorrow then, yeah?
Yeah, normal draft Friday.
Yeah, I kind of feel like playing Magic for once, so I might. Also, I need those As for Tolls off you, so I might as well come and do some drafting tomorrow.
Buy some cards, play some Magic.
Yeah.
Buy a Brawl deck.
Well.
Buy a Brawl deck. Brawl.